loan rates did not double come midnight. Huge deal, and I say that because while there was a little bit of this, everybody agreed it should be done. From a rhetorical standpoint, everybody knew that they did not want our students struggling to advance their education across the country to be paying a higher rate, especially as we continue to talk about student loan indebtedness, and the amount of loan burden that our students are carrying across this nation. They knew they did not want to be responsible for raising the interest rate on our America's students. But then they couldn't agree on how to get there. And I would say the majority of what happens in Washington, D.C. is there is a lot of agreement on where we need to go, but there's a whole lot of disagreement on the directions to get there. And so it was such a heartening change of events that A, they reached compromise, and B, they did it with a lot of lead time before Saturday night, so we didn't have people across America with no nails because they were biting them all off. So we do, as you know, have now just a one-year deal, which means that we're back at this again immediately. We're going to be back here hopefully the next student conference. Hopefully we'll solve it before then. But we will be back at this a year from now. But essentially it costs $6 billion to ensure that the student loan rate did not double. And they managed to do that and find a compromise. And in this case, it's limiting the number of years to take a subsidized student loan. That was essentially how they went about doing it. From our perspective, from NEA's perspective, we for years have been trying to move away from the idea of loans and more towards grants to make college even more affordable. And so that will continue to be our focus. We feel strong that this deal does nothing to threaten Pell Grants, and if anything makes Pell Grants stronger, and we will continue to fight on behalf of Pell Grants and making sure we're doing everything that we can to ensure access to higher education for anybody in this country in any circumstances who wants to attend to further their education. So what we have going on today is we can expect maybe as soon as this evening, although I've got to be honest, this whole Supreme Court thing kind of threw things off today. Maybe as soon as this evening, but potentially not till tomorrow, but definitely by tomorrow. The House vote is scheduled for tomorrow. The Senate vote might be tonight, and it might leak into tomorrow. They will vote. The president will sign this by midnight on Saturday, so it doesn't go into effect. So you all are here at a very critical time, and I have to say this because we could not have done this without you. 500,000 NEA messages have been sent to Congress. 500,000 NEA messages have been sent to Congress. 270 visits by the NEA Board of Directors took place in May to help advocate on behalf of this. President Van Roekel has made statements on behalf of this. We firmly believe in the students of America are our next generation and our greatest American promise, and this student loan fix has been a great addition for all of them. And so this is a great day that you're here, and I would be remiss if I left this podium without just briefly commenting on what an incredible decision was handed down by the United States Supreme Court this morning.
All right.
What the United States Supreme Court found was another little C word that they often work with, and that is the United States Constitution this morning. They put aside politics, and they made a decision based on the United States Constitution that is a huge victory for all Americans. All Americans, not only for students who will be able to have health coverage up until the age of 26. That is huge, and obviously something you all care about. But the amount of just assuredness that people will have knowing that they will not have access to health care. On my way over here, as I said, in my tour cab of Washington, D.C., I was listening on the radio to the C-SPAN, and they had people calling in, and there was this one woman who called in tears about what this decision meant today for her, because she doesn't have health care. And as states will now be allowed to move forward to implement this law, we can be assured that everyone across this country will gain access to health care because they have insurance. And I will just close by saying we would not be in this position today without the leadership of President Barack Obama, of pushing the Affordable Care Act through Congress and through his organization will continue to work for his reelection come this November. And this is why we need his vision for our vision of America. And I do not want it to think that it's a partisan comment, because if you spend 5 minutes with me, I'll tell you all the champions we have of Republicans, especially on Capitol Hill, of pushing our education policy agenda. But when it comes to the vision overall of where this country is going, today was a great day in ensuring that everyone has a fair shot and a fair chance in this country. So thank you very much for a couple of minutes on your agenda.